Have you ever held a coin in your hand, just a single penny, and wondered, could this tiny piece of copper be worth more than a brand new house, more than a lifetime of savings, more than what most people will ever dream of holding in their pockets? What if I told you that right now, hidden in plain sight, there are a handful of Lincoln Memorial cents that have crossed the auction block for life-changing amounts of money, coins so rare, so extraordinary that they are considered modern treasures in the truest sense? This is not rumor. This is not fiction. These are not fairy tales. This is the raw, faithful truth, documented in today's auction market, with values climbing higher every single year. These are coins that could change your destiny if you were lucky enough to find one. And in this video, right here on True Coin Value, the most trustful, faithful, and always freshly updated source for real coin treasure stories, I'm about to take you inside the world of 5 of the most valuable Lincoln Memorial cents ever known. Stay with me until the end, because each coin becomes more and more unbelievable. And when you hear the staggering truth about today's market values, you'll understand why collectors chase these rarities like hunters chasing the ultimate prize. Let's begin with our first coin. Coin number 1. The year was 1982, a year of enormous transition for the humble penny. Most people have no idea that this was the year when the United States Mint changed the very soul of the Lincoln cent. For decades, since 1909, the coin had been struck primarily in 95% copper. But by 1982, rising metal costs forced the mint to shift to a new plancher of copper-plated zinc. This single change created one of the most dramatic and collectible chapters in the entire Lincoln cent series. Now, in the chaos of this transition, 7 different varieties were struck that year. Something remarkable happened. A cent left the presses without a mint mark. That means, on the obverse under the date, where you'd normally expect to see a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, there is nothing. A ghost. A blank space where the identifying mark should have been. This is no ordinary flaw. This is an error of history, a striking omission that transformed a regular penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Collectors recognize it instantly, because while most people see just another coin, the true eye spots a miracle, a coin with no identity, no origin stamped, no mint of birth declared. The rarity of this coin is staggering. Out of the millions upon millions struck that year, only a razor-thin number survived with this missing mint mark. And survival is only half the story. Condition matters. Many of these cents were spent, circulated, worn down. But when one appears in fine condition, still sharp, still carrying the strength of its strike, the coin becomes electrified with collector demand. Today, when this treasure hits the auction market, the energy in the room is undeniable. Bidders know they are chasing a prize that only the elite can hope to hold. And the hammer prices prove it. One such coin, the very same 1982 Lincoln Memorial cent, without a mint mark, in fine condition, has commanded an unbelievable $152,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard me correctly, $152,000. A single penny, turned into a massive treasure. Think about that for a moment. You could hold a fortune that changes your entire financial picture overnight. This is not exaggeration. This is not hype. This is today's reality in the numismatic world, and the market value is climbing year after year. Mark my words, the price we see today will not be the ceiling. This treasure is rising, becoming more valuable with every season. For collectors, this coin is not just a purchase, it's an inheritance. It's a piece of American history, frozen in time. And for those searching rolls of pennies, it is the ultimate dream, the dream of stumbling upon a coin so rare, so coveted, that it makes your hands shake when you realize what you've just found. My tip for you as a collector: never overlook 1982 pennies. Always examine the date carefully. Always look beneath for that tiny mark or the shocking absence of one. And if you see nothing there, take a deep breath, because you may have just uncovered one of the rarest modern treasures circulating in America. So let the message be clear. What lies in your pocket, in your jar of change, in your coin collection inherited from a grandparent, could be worth not cents, not dollars, but a fortune that grows richer with time. The 1982 Lincoln Memorial Cent without mint mark is not just a coin, it is a phenomenon. A legend, a gateway into wealth that makes even experienced collectors' hearts race. Stay tuned, because the next coins I'm about to show you are just as electrifying, just as packed with suspense, and each carries a story that could change the way you see the penny forever. Coin number 2. If the story of 1982 was about transformation, then 1983 was the year of fallout, the year when America's pennies revealed the scars of their new identity. By now, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to the copper-plated zinc plancher. And while it seemed like a practical solution to rising costs, this shift left a mark on history that no one could have predicted. The Denver Mint, proudly stamping its D mint mark beneath the date, was churning out billions of coins. To most people, these were ordinary, everyday pennies destined to vanish into pockets, drawers, and cash registers. But collectors who know the true story understand that something extraordinary happened in 1983. These new zinc-based cents did not behave like their copper ancestors. They carried a weakness, a tendency to corrode, to blister, to develop strange pitted surfaces and so-called zinc spots. Now imagine this, a coin that to the untrained eye looks flawed, scarred by its composition. But in the eyes of a serious collector, it is precisely this uniqueness, this fingerprint of its birth, that makes it extraordinary. Among the massive flood of 1983 pennies, the Denver Mint variety with visible zinc spots in circulated condition has become one of the most enigmatic and shocking rarities of modern numismatics. Why? Because while millions crumbled into worthlessness, very few survived in a condition where collectors could verify and treasure the anomaly. The zinc spots themselves tell a story of experimentation, of material failure, of a coin caught between durability and decay. These scars become its signature, its proof of authenticity, its badge of rarity. And make no mistake, demand for this coin is not small. Collectors pursue it with the same intensity that treasure hunters pursue gold. Each time one is confirmed at auction, the bidding war ignites like wildfire, because everyone in that room understands what's at stake. You are not bidding for a penny. You are bidding for a relic of change, a fragile survivor of America's coinage revolution. When the gavel finally falls, the numbers are nothing short of breathtaking. One circulated 1983 Lincoln Memorial Cent with a clear D mint mark and distinctive zinc spots has sold for an earth-shattering $150,000 in today's auction market. Yes, $150,000 for a coin that once slipped casually through the hands of shoppers and cashiers. Think about it. A single cent transformed into a six-figure treasure. This is not exaggeration. This is not hype. This is fact. And every passing year, its value climbs higher, like a mountain peak collectors are still trying to reach. Owning this coin is like holding lightning in your hands, a rare, impossible flash of history and fortune combined. For collectors, the lesson here is clear. Never dismiss a coin simply because it looks imperfect. Look closer. Examine the details. That scar could be the very mark of greatness, the very key that unlocks unimaginable value. Especially with 1983 Denver cents, what looks ordinary may in fact be a legend hiding in plain sight. My tip for you: pay attention to the surfaces of your coins. Do not overlook the zinc spots. Do not dismiss circulated pieces, because what seems like a flaw could be the very reason the coin becomes a treasure. And remember, condition matters, but demand and rarity matter more. Even a circulated survivor can change your life. So understand this: in the world of rare coins, value is not only about perfection, it's about rarity, history, and the story a coin tells. And the 1983 D Lincoln cent with zinc spots tells a story like no other. A story of failure that became triumph. A story of weakness that transformed into strength. And a story of a penny that became a treasure chest. This is why I say here on True Coin Value that every coin is worth a second look. Because in your change jar, in your wallet, in your forgotten rolls of pennies could lie a six-figure discovery waiting for you to recognize it. And when you do, you'll understand the power of the hunt, the thrill of the find, and the priceless truth that sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest fortune. Coin number 3. By the late 1980s, America had grown used to the new zinc pennies. The copper-plated planchets were now standard, and for most people, a penny was just a penny. Tossed in a jar, ignored at the counter, or left forgotten at the bottom of a pocket. But in 1988, the Denver Mint struck something that would quietly grow into one of the most electrifying rarities of the Lincoln Memorial series. This was not a proof coin, not a coin designed for show, but an everyday cent meant for circulation. Yet among the billions of ordinary strikes, certain coins began to reveal strange, haunting marks, green and brown spots blooming across the surface, patterns born from the very chemistry of the coin itself. At first glance, the average person might think this is corrosion, a flaw, even damage. But collectors who know the truth recognize it for what it is: an extraordinary signature of the time, a marker of its authenticity, and a survivor that carries its history visibly on its face. Those green and brown patches are like fingerprints of the era, proving the fragility of the zinc planchet and the unpredictable chemistry of copper and zinc aging together. Now combine that unique surface with the clear D mint mark of the Denver Mint, and suddenly you are staring at a piece of history that collectors can't resist. Most of these coins were lost to wear, discarded as damaged, or simply worn into oblivion. But when one surfaces in fine condition, sharp strike, clear details, and the distinct green-brown coloration, it becomes an irresistible prize. The rarity is astonishing. Think of the millions that left Denver's presses, and then realize how vanishingly few have survived in collectible form. This is why the market reacts with such explosive energy when one crosses the auction block. To the untrained eye, it looks humble, even flawed. To the trained collector, it is a lightning rod of demand, a legendary survivor of a decade when pennies were undergoing their greatest struggle. And here is where the truth stuns even the most seasoned collectors. The 1988 Lincoln Memorial cent with D mint mark, spotted with green and brown but preserved in fine condition, has reached a staggering $145,000 in today's auction market. $145,000 for a coin most people would have dismissed as pocket change. Think of it. This is not fiction, not exaggeration. This is happening right now, in our time. A simple cent turned into a treasure chest. A coin that can rewrite a person's financial story overnight. And the market is not done. Each year, the value inches higher because rarity is finite. There will never be more of these, only fewer, as time takes its toll. Collectors know this, and they bid accordingly, pushing the price into the realm of fortune. So what is the lesson for collectors, for searchers, for dreamers? It is this: never underestimate what you hold. Examine your 1988 Denver cents closely. Look for the subtle green and brown hues, the living patina of a coin that defied the odds. And if you find one in fine condition, realize that you are not holding a penny, you are holding a key, a ticket, a miracle in copper and zinc. For the serious numismatist, this coin is more than an acquisition. It is a statement, a declaration that you own one of the most enigmatic treasures of the Lincoln Memorial series. For the treasure hunter, it is proof that miracles can still be found in pocket change. This is why I say every coin tells a story, but some coins tell a story so powerful it can change your life. The 1988 D with its green and brown spots is one of those coins. It is not less than a treasure. It is the very definition of a modern-day fortune. And here on True Coin Value, we bring you these truths faithfully, freshly, every day. Because these are not just stories, they are opportunities. And the opportunity of this coin is nothing short of breathtaking. Coin number 4. The 1980s were a turbulent era for the Lincoln cent, and each year seemed to carry its own secret rarity waiting to be discovered. By 1987, the Denver Mint was producing billions of pennies, each bearing that proud D mint mark under the date. To most people, these coins were forgettable, just spare change jingling at the bottom of a pocket. But among them lies one of the most astonishing survivors of the decade, a coin that today commands a treasure's ransom. Now, let's talk about its appearance. This 1987 Denver cent comes to us in what collectors call old condition, not mint state, not freshly struck, but aged, seasoned, carrying the visible journey of its years in circulation. And yet, that very oldness is what sets it apart. Because in the relentless flow of pennies exchanged and spent, so few from 1987 have endured in recognizable collectible form. Think of the billions that left the Denver presses, coins that bought candy, coins that paid for newspapers, coins that traveled through countless hands. Most were spent into oblivion, scratched, worn smooth, discarded as unworthy. But then, against all odds, a tiny handful survived. And among those survivors, the rarest of the rare took on a value so staggering that it would leave anyone speechless. This coin's composition and story are vital. Remember, by 1987, every Lincoln cent was copper-plated zinc, a fragile formula prone to wear and decay. And yet, somehow, this particular 1987 D endured, scarred with age, yet still carrying the strength of its strike and the clear Denver mint mark beneath the date. That survival itself is a miracle collectors are willing to pay a fortune to own. And make no mistake, the rarity of this coin cannot be overstated. Out of the countless millions struck, only a minuscule fraction remain in conditions that collectors demand. And when such a piece appears on the auction floor, the air changes. The bidding is fierce, relentless, filled with the knowledge that opportunities like this come once in a generation. The hammer falls, and the numbers are jaw-dropping. A 1987 Lincoln Memorial cent with the D mint mark, preserved in old but fine collectible condition, has reached an extraordinary $148,000 in today's market. That's right, $148,000 for what most would dismiss as a worn penny. But the collectors know better. They know it's not just a penny, it is treasure. Think about what that means. A coin that once slipped through cash registers and soda machines is now worth more than many inheritances, and its value continues to rise. Do not doubt this. Every year, as collectors compete for fewer and fewer survivors, the price climbs higher. This is not fiction. This is the living truth of the auction floor. So what does this mean for you, the treasure hunter, the collector, the dreamer watching this right now? It means you should never dismiss age. Look carefully at your 1987 Denver cents, even if they appear worn, even if they carry the years. Because sometimes old condition is not weakness. It is the very proof that transforms a coin into treasure. My tip for you: treasure the journey of your coins. Do not only look for perfection. Look for rarity, for survivors, for pieces that defy time. Because in the world of numismatics, survival itself creates fortune. This 1987 D. Lincoln cent is a perfect reminder. Sometimes the smallest, oldest things hold the greatest secrets. And when you find one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding history, legacy, and wealth all bound together. And here on True Coin Value, we bring you these truths because our channel is faithful, trustful, and updated every single day with fresh discoveries from the market. These are not fairy tales. These are real treasures waiting to be found. And now, stay tuned, because the final coin in today's list is perhaps the most thrilling of them all, a coin whose story will shake your understanding of what a penny can truly be worth. Last coin, number 5. As we reach the climax of today's journey, prepare yourself, because this final coin is one that defies imagination. We travel back to 1985, a year when the Denver Mint was once again striking billions of pennies for everyday use. On the surface, there was nothing unusual about the 1985 cent. But as every serious collector knows, within the ordinary can lie the extraordinary. And in this case, the extraordinary comes from the reverse side of the coin itself. Among the sea of 1985 Denver strikes, there emerged a small handful of coins marked by something that, at first glance, looks like imperfection, distinct green spots forming across the reverse design. Most people would never give it a second look, but those who understand coin chemistry and rarity recognize it instantly as a remarkable and highly collectible signature. These green hues are the result of a chemical dance between copper and zinc, a rare patina that formed uniquely over time. Instead of weakening the coin, they transformed it into a one-of-a-kind piece of living history, an aged, natural artwork etched by time itself. Add to that the bold D mint mark confirming its Denver origin, and suddenly this isn't just a cent, it is a survivor, a relic, a treasure that collectors would do anything to own. Now let's talk about condition. Unlike so many 1985 pennies that were spent to nothingness, this particular variety has surfaced in very fine condition. That means the details of the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial's columns, steps, and lettering still shine clearly even under the patina. Combine that clarity with the unique green spotting, and you have a coin that collectors recognize as one of the most electrifying finds in modern American numismatics. When such a coin appears in the marketplace, the reaction is nothing short of thunderous. Bidders know exactly what they're looking at. Not a damaged cent, but a historical anomaly, a miracle of preservation, and an investment-grade treasure. And when the gavel falls, the price speaks louder than any words could. One 1985 Denver cent, reverse side marked with green spotting, preserved in very fine condition, has sold for an astonishing $155,000 in today's auction market. Yes, $155,000 for a coin that most would have dismissed as ordinary pocket change. A single penny transformed into a staggering fortune, a treasure chest in copper and zinc. Think about that. You could hold this in your hand and feel the weight of a fortune that could change your life overnight. And the story doesn't end here. These values continue to climb year after year as collectors battle for the few survivors left. This is not hype, this is not fantasy, this is the reality of today's rare coin market, and it is rising like a tide. My tip to every collector watching: never ignore the reverse of your coins. Examine every Lincoln memorial sent carefully, front and back. The details that look like flaws, the discoloration, the spotting, may in fact be the marks of greatness. And when you find them paired with sharp condition, you may be staring at your very own six-figure discovery. This coin is the perfect finale because it proves a truth we've seen again and again today. The smallest, most overlooked coins can carry the greatest wealth. And only those who look closely, who believe in the treasure hunt, who search faithfully, will ever find them. Here on True Coin Value, we share these stories with passion and trust because our channel is your faithful guide to the real treasures hiding in plain sight. These are not myths. These are facts. And every day, we bring you fresh updates, faithful reports, and the thrill of discovery. So remember this: in your change jar, in your rolls of pennies, in the coins you've been ignoring for years, could lie a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1985 D with green spots is living proof. Stay inspired, keep searching, and never underestimate the value of what you hold. Because sometimes the smallest coin is the biggest treasure.